Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today. We'll get into some Q&A questions afterwards, but let's take a look at some new pictures we've got for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 15, Something They Need. Yeah, we got some new pics, so I'll put the link in the description for you guys so you can check these out from toynewseye.com. They got them all, high definition there, that kind of deal. So you can click the link there if you want to check them out for yourselves. So we got some different pictures here, some pretty cool ones. And the first thing I noticed from the pictures is this is not going to be a bottle episode. Yay! So 7:15 has a few different locations in it. We're getting to see the Hilltop for one. We're getting to see the Sanctuary for 2, and then we know that we're going to see Daryl, Father Gabriel, Rick, and all the others on the road, and then also, of course, at the ocean side. So we're going to see, a whole bunch of different places in this episode, which is awesome. With the first couple from the Hilltop, we can see in this one that we have Maggie and Gregory. This is part, it looks like, of close to the sneak peek that's been released by AMC. You can see the knife from Gregory, and you can see Maggie doing her gardening. And the one thing I want to take from this one is in the promo, it kind of makes it look like Gregory might attack Maggie because he's kind of got the knife hidden, that kind of deal. But in this one, he's kind of just standing there, and he's just kind of got it out in the open. So it's it kind of tells me from this picture that he's not really trying to hide it from her. And as a result of him not trying to hide it from her in this one, maybe we won't see Gregory try to attack Maggie or do something like that. I'm sure there's a purpose to the scene, and there's something the scene's going to do for us in terms of the story. But if he was going to attack her with it, I would most likely think that he wouldn't let her see it. He wouldn't keep it out in the open where she could see that he has it. So it looks like that scene is probably going to be different from what a lot of us would think based on the promo, and we probably won't see them. Maybe a slight argument between the two, but maybe nothing come to blows from the looks of it. Next one we have is of Sasha in a cell, it looks like to me, at the Sanctuary. So that's pretty cool. So at least we know some things confirmed from this. She's not killed right away as soon as she goes in, so that's one thing, right? She at least survives attacking Negan and probably is disarmed. I hope to see that scene. That would be a really cool intro scene if before the credits we saw Sasha, from their perspective, rush in and start shooting people, and then somebody take her down or something, because she's on a rampage. So not looking too good here. Kind of looking I don't know, kind of regretting her decision here, kind of looking a bit worried, I want to say, wide-eyed and worried. Similarly here, kind of the same type of deal. But then really cool here is we have Eugene outside the door, supposedly, or I'm assuming, probably talking to Sasha, because of course he knows Sasha obviously from Alexandria and from their time on the road, even before Alexandria, and she's one of the survivors. He's kind of one of the survivors, except he's got his coat on now, which means it's kind of like Savior Eugene. He's got his own kind of villain feel here with the darker clothing. I see what they're doing there, and the mullet's looking sweet as always. But maybe him talking back and forth to her through the door, trying to figure out what's going on, and if maybe he could find some way to help her escape, or we'll have to see. I'm just really not sure. But he's so scared. Would he take a chance and pull a Sherry and try to get her out of there, or maybe just tell her to hang tight and he'll try to think of something? He'll try to find a way to get her out of there. Likewise here, same kind of thing. He's kind of looking to see if anyone is, around, because he's probably not supposed to be talking with her. And if Negan found out, he'd probably get in some trouble, at least some trouble. And he's got the stuffed animal there, who I'm still thinking it is for Judith, but we'll have to see. Out of his pocket there. And yeah, that's it for the ones from the Sanctuary with Eugene and Sasha. So at least we know they're going to have a conversation, and maybe it could add a little bit more to the theory that maybe Eugene will give her one of those pills he created to opt out if things get really bad for her. So we'll have to see if that comes to fruition and just how that goes. And it looks like finally Carl's going to return to the show. I think it's been a while since we've last seen him, hasn't it? He hasn't been in this half almost at all, except for the mid-season premiere. And since then, it's just I almost forgot he was even in the show. So peeking a tree, it looks like possibly near the ocean side, except I think he's peeking the tree with the wrong eye. Carl, if you just have your left eye, you should peek the tree to the left, my friend. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. What do I know? So there's that one. We've got Father Gabriel, who's got a pretty sweet jacket on, looking good with the camouflage, so that's going to be useful at the Oceanside. And Daryl, who I'm assuming is going to the Oceanside with him, which should be kind of cool. We'll have to see him try out his new crossbow, since we haven't seen him use it as of yet. And the last one, which I used for yesterday's thumbnail for the video, this one to me, it just kind of like screams Daryl's surprised to see something. So I'm wondering if this is like the moment when he sees Rosita and Dwight roll up. Probably not. Who knows? He could be surprised about anything. Maybe about their plan with the Oceanside. Who knows? I mean, it's just hard to say. So we'll see what it ends up being that causes him to respond this way in the episode. Either way, I'm just happy to see, Daryl back, all the different, our different core group kind of getting back together again on their new mission to go to the Oceanside. And the first question for this one is from Dogg, who says, the interaction between Daryl and Maggie gave me a thought, especially when she said to Daryl, help me win. What do you think of the possibility of Daryl staying at the Hilltop permanently and being Maggie's lieutenant or bodyguard, similar to Jesus in the comics? So we'll see what they do with Daryl with regards to location and the different, all the different communities, different characters after kind of All Out War finishes up in a couple years. Because it seems like with our different group of survivors, you're going to have different leads in different spots probably. You're going to have, Rick and the others at Alexandria probably. You're going to have somebody, one of the saviors as a point of view character for the sanctuary. You're going to have, a Hilltop character, at least probably Maggie and surrounding supporting cast. You're going to have somebody at the Kingdom. But it's hard to tell who's going to be where. You might be right that Daryl could go to the Kingdom and stay at the Kingdom. But with Daryl, I kind of view him as kind of like a lone wolf type of deal. So I don't look at Daryl as somebody that would stay at one location over another. I kind of view him as somebody who will just kind of goes wherever he wants and doesn't really have like a particular spot that he calls home. Is kind of like the road is his home type of deal, which is kind of the way I've always sort of thought about Daryl. Like I said, like Wolverine in The Walking Dead is pretty much what he is. I go where I want to go type of thing. There's a 90s X-Men Wolverine quote for you. I go where I want to go. Next one's from Mena, who says, hey Trev, what are the chances that Eugene is actually playing Negan? Could he be cooking up some genius plan to help Rick and company in the upcoming battle? Or is he simply just too scared of Negan? Thanks and keep up the good work. So that's from Mena. But for Mena, Eugene doesn't know that Rick and the others are planning to try to attack the Saviors. Eugene has no idea that all this stuff has been going on. He's been at the Sanctuary, and he hasn't been able to see them this half at all, except for just now with Rosita and Sasha. He was taken in the mid-season finale, and he hasn't got any information about what Rick and the others are planning or going to try and do. From his perspective, it looks like they have absolutely no chance. So we'll see what happens with Eugene in the future now that he's going to find out probably from Sasha that some things are going to go down. And, might he snitch on them? Might he tell? I wouldn't think so, but we'll have to see what he decides to do and whose side he's really on. JP Walker Slayer, 97, number 2. I guess there's the second thing. This is number 1, JP Walker Slayer, 97. What are you looking forward to most in the finale? Or heading into the finale. I'm looking forward to most the speeches from both Negan and Rick that will be adapted from the comics, I suppose, for when they're actually going to go to war. Specifically, Negan's speech is what I wanted. That's what I'm looking forward to most. I've kind of been waiting for that since the beginning of the season. From the beginning of the season, I went through the trades, the volumes, and I looked at, okay, what am I looking forward to most? And that's pretty much it. I can't wait to see Negan's speech. And also, if you look at this half too, Negan has not had that much time either this half. He's had basically one episode kind of, and aside from that, this half he hasn't had a whole lot, so I'm looking forward to seeing some more Negan. He did have quite a bit of time in the first half of the season, but now it's kind of been shifted around kind of all over the place actually, so I'm looking forward to that most, and maybe seeing Rick and the group win like one minor battle here, before the season's over. Hopefully we get to see that. Mr. Pondy says, hi Trev. So what is the monkey doing in Eugene's pocket? could it contain the suicide pills? And I thought, man, that's a really good idea, because I was thinking the monkey was there for him to maybe give it as a gift to somebody like Judith or whoever. We'll have to see. But maybe you're right. Maybe he's actually keeping the monkey because maybe it's part of his gimmick, his evil Eugene gimmick. But at the same time, you're right. He could actually be stashing the pills in there, and no one would ever check. No one would ever think to check inside of it. So that's pretty smart. And maybe that's exactly where he's got the pills. We'll see. IB Sweet P2 says, "Hey Trev, I haven't seen anyone bring up this theory yet, and I'm not privy to spoilers, but I think Sasha is going to take the place of Holly from the comics, and Negan is going to think that she's Michonne. Then kill her when he realizes she's not and send her into Alexandria." So there's some interesting stuff here, comic book spoilers, yeah. But that would be cool. I wanted to include this because the one part you came up with, which is that maybe Negan will think that Sasha is Michonne. And I hadn't thought about that, but that's actually really clever, because actually Sonequa Martin Green tried out originally to play Michonne, didn't get the role, but they liked her so much that they created a character, Sasha, for her, which is really cool. So she must have been close. She was probably like the runner-up to not Denai Guerrero for Michonne. She was probably like their second pick. But of course, Denai is just like so perfect that they went with Denai, and then they're like, okay, but she's really good too, so we should use her for this, which is really cool. They also did the same thing with Daryl. Norman Reedus originally tried out for Merle, didn't get the part, and they created the role of Daryl for him. So it's worked out quite a bit for them to keep on. Oh, it's happened again this season. I could just go on and on and on. But Simon tried out for Negan and didn't get it. So they created Simon for him. So really cool stuff. So The Walking Dead is good about people failing on Upward, right? They fail to get the role, they didn't get the job, but then they get a different role. So it's pretty cool. They find something for them, which so far has worked out great. I think every time they've done it that I can think of has worked out really good. But that'd be really cool if Negan thought that she was, because just because of the fact that of the tryout. It's just such a funny, behind the scenes type of thing to know that. But you're right that in the comics, Negan does think in the comics that the girl that they capture is Rick's girl, and then until he finds out that she was with Abraham. So we'll probably see something like that with the TV series version with Sasha. Maverick Gunn says, Q&A Trev, on Talking Dead, Chris Hardwick has raised the point twice that if viewed from the Savior's point of view, the survivors would look like the bad guys. Now my question is, do you think these survivors are becoming what they want to destroy with the preemptive strike on the satellite station in season 6 and possibly taking the guns, stuff, and things from the ocean side by force? I don't think so. It would be nice to hear your thoughts on this. So for Maverick Guns, yeah, that's something that definitely in the second half of season 7 is a bit weird. When you see them attack the satellite station, they don't seem to be good guys at the time. They seem to be villains because they're going through, they're killing them all. And that's definitely not something you would do if you were a good a good guy. So it's kind of like the group that we follow in The Walking Dead. It's not necessarily, your good guys, but they're more like real people trying to survive in a really twisted world where there's extreme scarcity and they have to do what they have to do. It's the same, kind of topic or question of doing what you have to do in order to survive and scarcity and, having to have a certain amount to have the ability to be a good person, and understanding that without any, then you can't really follow the rules if you don't have absolutely anything. For example, if you're starving, you might have to steal. If you don't have any guns and your opponent does, you might have to, do what you have to do to get some. I personally would think that they would approach the ocean side in a peaceful manner, but it doesn't look like that from the trailer. So maybe it's just that, Rick and the others are so desperate and they know they need to win, they need to do this, so they're gonna go after it any way they can and by any means necessary. So, yeah, and let's do one more. It's from Joe Stuckey. He says, hey, Trev, I hope you're doing well, and I apologize for lack of questions lately, caught up in my personal life and never had so much time, so blah, blah, blah. He goes on a bit more. He did a video weeks ago, and not a slight against you, Joe, but I appreciate your questions, and all of your guys' questions as well, too. Did a video a few weeks ago on whether or not Dwight is redeemable, and that you feel it would not be right if he joined the survivors after what he did to the doctor. Well, he's certainly not a good guy either. I mean, I know the survivors have done some bad stuff, but him throwing the doctor under the bus when he was totally innocent was brutal. I am interested to hear what you think about this now, and are you happy that they might go the direction with Dwight being a turncoat and changing sides from the saviors to the survivors? Plus, also, none of that's been confirmed. This is all theories right now. We don't know if Dwight is going to turn against Negan. We don't know that, but it seems like maybe that's the direction they're going to go. We'll see. Who knows? But for Joe. So, do I feel different about Dwight being redeemable? Not really. I don't really feel different about it. I mean, they can do it, and like we said, he's not really a good guy. Even if he's on the survivors and he's fighting for the right side, it doesn't make him a good guy. He's not a good guy. So it is what it is, and we'll see if they decide to do that with him. Maybe, Sherry's decision not to even trust him to visit him at all could be the thing that kind of pushes him over the edge to decide to turn against Negan. But we'll have to see how it goes. And, Dwight is, I don't really view him as redeemable. People forget, though. The audience obviously is going to forget over time, and maybe we could learn to like Dwight over time. So we'll see, at least for me. Some people like him now, so it's cool. TV series version, not comic series version. So I think he's a really good bad guy. I want to say that. Like, if you want to have a really, really good bad guy, Dwight is a great bad guy for Daryl, I think, for sure. And that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. Send me some more questions for tomorrow, guys. You should private message them to me. You can write them in the comments, but I may not see them because so many comments and stuff. So go to the channel, click the About tab, send me a private message for any questions you have, and that'll be it for today's video. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for all the support, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks for watching. That's it for this one. See you guys tomorrow. It's Trev. Say peace. Later, guys. See ya. Just subscribe somehow.